What is going on, everybody? floopydonkey here. And of course, you know, I love the Panthers. I got to do a rebuild with Sam Darnold. Big trade. The Panthers trade Sam Darnold for 3 draft picks, a 4th and a 6th, I do believe, if I'm getting that right, this year and a 2nd round next year. And we moved ahead and we went ahead and got rid of Teddy Bridgewater for basically a 3rd and a 5th to the Washington football team, who did not have a quarterback in Madden. Now, we're only worried about the Panthers. I didn't get every single team set up quite right. So, you know, there's still like not Sam Darnold, but Matthew Stafford is still with the Lions, things like that, because you just can't currently in Madden go through. It would take a lot of effort for me to get everybody traded, and it still probably wouldn't work out correctly. But we did go through and get all of the Panthers' major signings. We got David Moore, we've got Cam Irvin, Pat Eflin. I think that's how you say his last name. We got Arnold. I traded Teddy Bridgewater to the Washington football team and also got Logan Thomas in return. We needed some tight end help. And that's pretty much it. So for the most part, we've got everybody taken care of. We did get Hassan Reddick brought in, Justin Burris. We re-signed Rasul Douglas and K'Wan Short, who I think both players might come back to the Carolina Panthers. Would love to see Rasul Douglas come back. I thought he did a pretty decent job with the Panthers. And we're going to keep Jeremy Chin at safety. We won't move him to outside or the linebacker quite yet. And we're going to see if we cannot win a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold. We've got 2 years with him. We're probably going to draft a quarterback too in the draft. We'll see how that goes. But I kind of wanted to let you get a rundown of the team currently. We do got a kind of an issue with left tackle Cam Irvin over there, 69 overall. If we can get us tackle in the draft too, we might need to go with that. I doubt Penei Sewell is going to drop. We are going to import a draft, so we'll see how that goes. And all right, so here's our draft. Unfortunately, I was not able to import the upcoming draft class. I totally forgot to do it. My bad. But we did get a good corner, outside linebacker, and we got a backup quarterback, 66 overall. He's actually not much worse than Sam Darnold is currently at a 70 overall. And really after that, you know, the end of these drafts are pretty tough to get good players. We did snag a good running back, Antonio Matthews, not that we really needed him. And I say good, 67 overall in the 4th round, I think is okay. Okayly decent, I guess that is. So let's go ahead and move into this first year, see what happens with Sam Darnold as quarterback with the Carolina Panthers. Well, look at here. The Panthers go 12-4 and have a wild card playoff spot. And they finish top of the division with Sam Darnold. So let's check out the stats here. Sam Darnold had to do pretty decent. 31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 3,400 yards thrown through the air. He completed 63% of his passes, which is above normal. I mean, he's like a 60% completion percentage type of quarterback. And he's obviously never thrown 30 plus touchdowns in his career so far. Pretty good. Christian McCaffrey with over 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns on top of that. Receiving David Moore. David Moore, slot guys in Madden always thrive. And here again is another example. Logan Thomas comes in, good pickup, trade prospect for Teddy Bridgewater. He comes in and shows some production. Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore do absolutely nothing. We're going to move DJ Moore into the slot next season to see if we can't get him a few more touches. Christian McCaffrey also has 254 yards through the air. Shaq Thompson had the leading, was the team leader in tackles. And it looks like sacks-wise, Brian Burns led the team with 11. K'Wan Short, good pickup by us, getting 9. And Hassan Reddick, who is more of a situational pass rusher for us on this team, with only 3.5. Let's see what happens. Did we get any awards? I highly doubt that we did. And no, we did not. Matt Rule gets Coach of the Year, so that's one good thing. I really doubt that we're going to get any in the NFC. We'll see. You never know. We'll go through this right quick. Elijah McKee, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Our cornerback, that was a good pickup. First round draft pick there, getting Defensive Rookie of the Year. Christian McCaffrey gets Best Running Back. And it looks like that will probably be it for us. So let's see if the Panthers can win a wild card game against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. All right, here we go. We won against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with an 8-8 record. And now we've got to go up against the Dallas Cowboys with their 8-8 record as well. Let's go ahead and upgrade these 7 players. Let's advance to the conference championship. Sam Darnold wins his first playoff game in Carolina. And the 12-4 Carolina Panthers they won. They're in the NFC conference championship game against division rival New Orleans Saints. And we got to figure out who's on the Saints here. Did a good job, 17-14, really close game. by the Carolina Panthers. And Drew Brees is still not retired in this game, so he's still there. Hudson Porter, rookie. I don't know. That must have been somebody they drafted. So we got to go up against Drew Brees. 39 touchdowns, 21 interceptions. Not his best statistical season. So he decided to stay around for one more year. Let's see. Do the Panthers get into the Super Bowl? And they do not. They lose NFC Championship game against Drew Brees. That's a really good first year for Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers. And you got to think, with this team currently, we got a lot of the core players still up together. We re-signed Dante Jackson. We re-signed DJ Moore. We re-signed Tyler Moton. So we've got a really good stable of young pieces. We still got Jeremy Chin, Brian Burns, and the list goes on and on. Do we got anybody to re-sign on the staff? We don't. We're going to jump straight into the draft unless I have a really big free agent signing that I'll get. I'll make sure to stop the video and show you guys. But let's go ahead and keep this thing going. I'm going to try to make the video as quick as possible. Let's go. All right, here we guys, re-signing some of the players. I don't think we're going to re-sign Robbie Anderson. He wants a 4-year deal. If he'd want like a 1 or 2, I probably would re-sign him, but we're not going to do it. Hassan Reddick, we drafted a linebacker in this past draft, so we're not going to go with him. Matt Paradis is old as well. Michael Pilardi, 77 overall, 30 years on a 1-year deal. What the heck? Let's go ahead and see if he'll accept the offer. If he doesn't, then we'll have to find somebody. All right, we got him. Now, Logan Thomas had a really good year for us. He wants a 2-year contract, but I don't think we're going to give it to him. K1 Short still had a decent year, but 74 overall, I think we could do a lot better. Now, here we come. Sam Darnold. He was a really big difference maker for the Carolina Panthers. 74 overall. He's already increased 4 points. He's still only 25 years old, and I think we're going to have to re-sign him. We'll see if he'll sign a 4-year deal. We'll try to play this out as well. Let's just give him a little extra money, make sure he accepts this. And if he doesn't, then we'll just franchise tag him. There we go. We're keeping Sam Darnold around for 4 more years. And I think we're going to let everyone else kind of just hang out. I don't see any really need to get in these guys. Let's move on. All right, guys, here we are. Free agent signings. We went out and got a guard, James Daniels. We got David Njoku, tight end extraordinaire. Terrell Edmonds to free up that safety spot and get Justin Burris out of there. And then we got Ben Jones, center replacement, because we got rid of Matt Paradis. I do have Devontae Adams still under negotiations, but we're getting ready to start the draft. But on top of that, if we go look at all the wide receivers still left, I wanted to compliment DJ Moore and give Sam Darnold a few more weapons. We got Devontae Adams. We still got Robbie Anderson. We might be able to get him on a 1-year deal. Michael Gallup, Mike Williams, Kendrick Bourne. There's still some really good wide receivers that did not get signed, but it looks like we're going to wait until after the draft. So let's get that started. All right, so here's our draft recap. Pretty good draft, 75, 71, 71. We had some pretty good picks there. Got a good center that we'll be able to use probably next year. We're going to go ahead and start him now. We got in 2 good defensive tackles. So it's very, bland draft because it was basically offensive and defensive linemen. But at the end of the day, you got to build the trenches, as they say. And we still haven't gotten no update on any signings for the free agencies for Devontae Adams. We're going to definitely try to get him if we can at the start of the season. All right, here we are. We have got Sam Darnold surrounded with some weapons. I mean, it's like the complete opposite of what they had going down in New York. David Njoku, DJ Moore. We've got Devontae Adams, Michael Gallup, who we were both able to sign on 1-year deals out of free agency. We've got David Moore. So we got the Moore brothers on the right, Adams and Gallup on the left. We've got Christian McCaffrey. We've got a better offensive line. This defense is also studded out. We've got Shaq Thompson. We've got our rookie or our 2nd-year middle line or linebacker. We really could use some help middle linebacker. We're not going to talk about that. We got Edmonds, Chin, Dante Jackson, McKee, who we signed last year out of the draft as well. Brian Burns, one of the studliest defensive ends in all of football, young defensive end, phenomenal player. And this team, guys, is set to win. If they don't do at least 12-4 like they did last year, Madden's broke and I'll never play it again. And what do you know? We didn't make it 7-9. What went wrong for the Panthers this year? We had so many weapons. Sam Darnold led the league in passing touchdowns, 37, 11 interceptions as well. Sam Darnold's balling out in Madden, guys. Christian McCaffrey, 1,200 yards rushing. He didn't have as many touchdowns as he did the year before, but what was going on? Devontae Adams had 13 touchdowns. Njoku had 11. DJ Moore's really not doing a whole lot. He actually didn't have any touchdowns. That's pretty crazy. I mean, David Moore didn't even catch a ball. Wow, that's crazy. Let's look at our defense. Like Denzel Perry, I don't know what's going on. We got no sacks. Brian Burns, we re-signed him. to a 5-year deal. Our offense was 8th in the NFL, but the defense was 31st. We had the worst defense in the league, so we got to work on trying to get that together. And we have got some work to do. We've got to also try to re-sign. I'm going to try to re-sign Davante Adams best I can. We'll see what happens. And we're going to give this one more year, see what happens with Sam Darnold. He's done a really good job. I've been pleasantly surprised. All right, guys, before the draft here, we ended up and we got Dante Hightower and Nick Baldwin. Nothing really to talk about, but at least we shored up that middle linebacker spot. Hopefully that helps out with the defense a little bit. The only other position that I think we really need to look at is maybe the defensive tackle position, but we're pretty solid on the defensive side of the ball. I just don't know why we didn't perform. Maybe I need to change up the scheme, but I'm probably going to go out and get Scotty Miller for a slot guy or maybe outside guy. I'm not really sure. We also have Jimmy Ward. There's a few good players that I probably am going to look at maybe getting to stack onto the roster and hope that we can get a Super Bowl out of Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers. Let's get this draft underway. All right, guys, here's our draft recap. We got a center. We got 2 defensive ends, which we needed. Really, the only thing we needed was line help in that middle linebacking spot. We filled the middle linebacking spot with Dante Hightower. We got Carson Jenkins, which will help with the offensive line. I'm actually going to move him to guard and play guard and not keep him at center, but we still need an offensive tackle. So we might have to move some guys around and try to figure out how that's going to go protect Sam Darnold so he can throw the ball, keep balling out like he is. And I'm going to see if there's anybody available in free agency for us to pick up. Kind of do like we did last year. We got $13.6 million in cap room, so let's use it. This is our last shot. Let's see what happens. All right, everybody, here we go. Last run. Let's check out this offensive line a lot better already. We still got Njoku. We still got DJ Moore. We still got Sam Darnold, Christian McCaffrey, Davante Adams we re-signed, and we went out and got Scotty Miller. He was still sitting in free agency. I thought that would be a good little slot piece for us, and nothing else really changed. We got Dante Hightower. We're still keeping with the same defensive tackle that we drafted last year. Nothing else has really changed. The real big piece is Dante Hightower being brought back in, us getting Davante Adams and bringing in Scotty Miller, and then also shoring up this offensive line. So here we go, last chance. Sam Darnold's actually done a very, very good job. I've been pleasantly surprised. If he could even be remotely close to this for the Panthers, I would be ecstatic. But let's see what happens this last year with Carolina Panthers with Sam Darnold under center. All right, everybody, we make the playoffs 10-6 going up against a 10-5-1 Seattle Seahawks. We take the division again, 10-6. So 2 out of the 3 years with Sam Darnold, we take NFC South division title and we make the playoffs. I wouldn't mind that, but that's so Panther-esque. If you watch the Panthers, they always have 1 win a season, 1 lose a season. Now, you see our defense did improve, 19th overall. Our offense was 6th, so we regressed just a little bit. But the defense did improve, which was the big change. And look at Sam Darnold, 33 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's looking like Aaron Rodgers numbers right there. Christian McCaffrey, again, no surprise, over 1,300 yards receiving. Davante Adams, 1,100 yards receiving with 13 touchdowns. DJ Moore almost got 1,000 yards. In these 3 years, he hasn't done anything. It's very, very surprising. The tight ends have been very beneficial for Sam Darnold, that's for sure. And then let's look at the defense. Do we have any big sack guys? No. Gross Matos did good, but Brian Burns has done nothing. I cannot believe that. Even our outside linebacker, Floyd Elam, was able to get in a few sacks, but very weird that the sacks isn't really coming through. He also got some interceptions, so is he our leading tackle, guys? Second in the team with sacks and number 1 in interceptions. So a good little pickup out of Clemson, very close to Charlotte, North Carolina, and Carolina boy, and he got it done. So let's see what happens. Let's see if there's, make sure we got any yearly awards. Always check for that if we had a good season. And we got Coach of the Year the last time, but nothing here. And it looks like Davante Adams got Best Wide Receiver, rightfully so. And that is it for us. So let's see if the Panthers can get to the Super Bowl here. Got to upgrade some players, make sure we can get all the upgrades and all the help that we can get at this point. Let's see if the Seattle Seahawks beat the Panthers, and they do. So the Panthers end up losing, make the playoffs twice. Guys, I'm actually pleasantly surprised with that. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think? Do you think Sam Darnold can put up these type numbers? I'm not so sure. I think he can get close to something around maybe a 25-15, 25 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. That's where I see him being for the Panthers. He's finally got some help, but you see here, I mean, he hasn't even gotten 20 touchdowns in his career. He comes to the Panthers, 30, 37, 33. That is very, very great. But I see him around a 25-15 type of guy with 60 completions, 3,500 yards. That's where I see him being successful for the Carolina Panthers. Let me know down in the comments what you think of Sam Darnold going to Carolina. And also let me know, what do you think their record will be? I'll catch everybody later. Floopy Donkey out.